Hey, thanks for being here. Welcome to July's energy forecast for the month. I have so much to share around sacred recalibration, self-trust, and that inner confidence that this month is calling us to. So we're here today in our back little art room. We've got the dogs. So if you hear dogs, you're not imagining things. Let's dive in. If you're new to me, I'm Michelle Lane, and I blend energy work, numerology, and soul strategy to help you lead a life and business that actually feels like you. So you can really very much tune into your own alignment, your own energetic blueprint, and utilize that foundation of self-authority to move in the world, to take those big leaps, to let yourself soar, and to have the foundation to bring you back to choice point, which is where the magic happens. So let's dive into this energy this month. It's really inviting us as a 7 energy month to raise our value and to build wealth that expands when we bet on ourselves. So, just in that particular beautiful expression, we can tap into where we are feeling worthy, wealthy, and well. And that wealth is that well-being in motion. So we have so many beautiful attributes, beginning with the beginning of this month, which we've already gone through. And the reason that I am later this month posting this is we had family vacation. And so I chose to just step away and be present with family for this very same reason. It was a sacred recalibration. It's that moment to tune in, that moment to be present, to gather in the abundance that's already here. And realizing that in the pause is also the place where we can get the momentum moving in our business, in our wealth, in our leadership of our life, right? We get out of the excuses, we get to slow down, recalibrate into what's going to serve us better, how we can make the choices that help propel our own movement forward and really allow us to realize that we are the one we've been waiting for, not someone else, not the world to change, not when it gets better, not when we have more time, not when the money's here, but now. So, recalibrating the frequency within us to step into that next level, that timeline where money is flowing, our leadership is moving, our businesses are doing the money that we're looking for 10K a month, 5K a month, 10K a month, 20K a month. Who do we become as that leader as we step into that new level of self-trust and inner confidence? And that's the conversation that the month is really inviting us into. It's saying, let's take a look at the truth that we might have been pushing under the rug a little bit or pushing aside because we didn't want to deal with it, or whatever conflict feels like is creating chaos in our life right now. It's inviting us to get to the root of what's here to be let go, what's here to end a cycle of, what's here to let go of the attachment of, where it felt safe or it felt like someone else's should, need to, and have to, and really envelop us into more of our own self value. The first beautiful time between July 2nd and currently today, July 14th, as I'm recording this, we've had this beautiful experience of how we'd like to step more into our own self value. What cycles are bringing us into a new sense of self emerging to the value that it's not what we do, but it's who we be. And the more that we can be it and express it, it gives the world permission to be more of them. It's not our job to take that on. And if you're a mom and you've got kids or older kids, we want to rescue, we want to protect. But how can we empower them through our own actions to be that better version of ourselves, not better than someone else, just better than yesterday, better in our courage, better in our brave movements forward instead of staying or compromising ourselves for the same old thing because, well, a lot of times the belief is I'm in my 50s or I'm in my 60s and I'm set in my ways. And this is really inviting us into trusting what truth is rising now. Because if you're here, you're not one that wants to stay stagnant anyway. There's always going to be another mountain to climb, there's always going to be another passion to follow. It's never too late. And you're the one who decides who, when, how much, all the beautiful things in life that don't need to stop you in the perceptions that might have previously been there because life might have taught you otherwise. This is the month to rip that band aid off and say, what do I want? What does it feel like when I tap in and what beliefs within myself need to be rewritten or amplified so I can become the person who expresses that, the person who communicates it, the person who lives the life that I say that I want. And I want to talk about this with our wealth, because so many times we can be waiting for the wealth to show up and then we'll be XYZ. It's an identity shift in the frequency of who we're being. And this is really inviting us to take a look at what's going on in the physical representation of what has been observed these last 2 weeks of the month. Is the bank account where you want it? Is your body where you want it? Or your relationships or your environment the way you want it? And what needs to be shifted, changed, moved, cleared out, clutter free, so we can make space for what's next? These are the next weeks where we decide what's next, and we become the energy, the frequency, the movement, the lifestyle, the career choices, the mindset behind it, so we can begin to create that change. We can begin to amplify the belief that what we want wants us, and that we restore the balance, and we notice where things were feeling mentally heavy. It's in where they're feeling mentally heavy that it could be a lie of the mind. There could be a whole nother belief system available, and that we're inviting ourselves into a whole nother perception. Just because we've been looking at life one way doesn't mean there's a huge another possibility or perception available to us. So it's asking us to really tap in, tune in, find the harmony that wants to be here through the restoration, through the recalibration of your own thoughts, of your own feeling states. What thoughts are producing the feeling states? If they feel good, keep going. If they don't, change them. You're not waiting for anyone else or anything to change. You become the change. So that is the journey we're taking ourselves into, to trust our intuition more, to master our mind, to allow this change to lead us into new decisions, new foundations, new harmony with loving the mind, not abandoning it. The mind is doing its job. It's protecting us. It doesn't know the difference between stories we make up and the truth, but it will operate based off 51% of what you tell it most. And so if we're not taking responsibility for our intentionality or our focus or where we want to actually let things expand, then we're in the same cycle. We're in a rut. We're doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a new result. So can we love the mind for where it brings us? Can we love the patterns for where they bring our awareness into, that we don't, the pattern doesn't have to stay, it gets to be rewritten? And then can we have grace for ourselves wherever we find ourselves, instead of having judgment or beating ourselves up? So these new perspectives, ideas, and awarenesses are going to cultivate the confidence through that spiritual and mental energy that brings in new belief. You're meant to lead. You're not meant to control. You're not meant to hold, restrict yourself from. You are abundant by nature. And just because you haven't figured it out like someone else or your neighbor doesn't mean it isn't for you. What it is not a how, as much as how do you feel about what's possible for you? How do you feel about money flowing in? How do you feel about you being and having everything you desire? How do you feel about knowing you can have it all? Hey, Kona, knowing you can have it all, right? There's a belief system and a root of it that says, not you, not this lifetime. Or it says, yeah, me. And I have to redirect the old stuff that kept me small, kept me holding myself back. So believing in your path, that change is the freedom, is what's bringing us into the ending week, a 5 energy week of the month. We move into a quick cycle of the hearts where we're coming into self-love. So how can we love and lead ourselves through love more? How can we love our life more? How can we love the chaos just a bit more, so we can choose more of the calm, more of the peace, more of the clarity? How can we allow ourselves into higher consciousness so we can receive more fulfillment and less sacrifice, more satisfaction and less worry? Where can we focus our efforts during these next 2 weeks, the 15th through the 27th, to allow us a new change of mind? Maybe new habits. There may be things to prioritize. I can't even with these dogs. I'm like, okay, hoping that you can hear through this. Um, Where is the focus on the possibility of what else can be created? Where can you look at things differently with what you might be not realizing you're doing, where you can take responsibility for a new change, right? That resistance is actually here as a key code. When you stop resisting, who and what might need to be changed so you can flow just a little bit more to co-create that life and business of true wealth rooted in trust and overflow. And I love this because overflow wasn't always easy for me. I had a hard time betting on myself, and I had a hard time really realizing that the universe wants to flow this abundance in, that money can come out of nowhere, that I don't need to have a known source for large amounts of money to show up. And the more that I realized that this happens, the more I could tune into who and what I was doing, who was I being just before that happened, just before that shift happened. How was I feeling? There was a lot of joy and bliss. I was living my life. I wasn't stressing. I wasn't coming from a place of need. I was allowing that flow to overflow and feel the gratitude. And these things can be so simple to skip over. But I promise you, when you spend time in the frequency of the truth of that, not the physical because someone said so listing of it, we get to experience ourselves in the frequency that created the abundance because it's already here. We stepped into the frequency to meet it. And so often we're waiting for it to fall upon us, and bestow that wealth into our hands. And we get that little bit backwards. The universe is like, I'm waiting for you to say you want it, claim it, and step in. So let me know how this lands for you. We've got some beautiful energies really inviting us into this deeper experience of ourselves. We have these beautiful energies really allowing us to see what's been manifested and what else is possible in our desires, that we don't have to feel badly or have guilt for our desires. We actually are built to have them, and that we get to be the one to pour the energy in to fulfill them. And we're not perfect. And mastery is a daily practice. It's like a daily habit into being and unraveling who we become so we can be that new identity. So I'd love to know how this lands. And if you're interested in your own personal year or chart reading, I'd love to support you with that. Just click the links below where you can sign up on my calendar. If you're looking for additional support or coaching around some of these patterns, I can help you rewrite them and we can talk within the body on what's ready to shift and moved into new energy. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your month. Let me know what part landed with you most in the comments below. And I would, thanks so much.